Hi, folks. Forgive me for those technical difficulties. We're going to get ourselves loaded up again. Just apologize. Back on, and hopefully YouTube editor will just edit this right out. All right. An editor right now. All right, here we go. We are jumping into game number 1 of our first series here. It's going to be a PVZ starting on Everdream. Give this a second shot. Thank you for being so patient. I really appreciate your understanding as we get ready for our first series. Let's hope we can load. Here we go. Fingers crossed. Oh, I think we've done it. Outstanding. All right, here we go. We are in to our first series of the day here for Group B, spawning in the top right-hand corner. Our blue Zerg. Give it up for Ghosty, playing for Magdeburg Esport. And spawning in the bottom left of Everdream, our yellow Protoss player, playing for Alpha X. Give it up for Exo Striker. All right. Thank you so much again for being patient here. We are jumping in to game number 1 of our series here between the two players. Both players are inside of our junior qualification, so if you didn't get a chance to hear at the beginning of our broadcast, both of these players are under the age of 15 years old, less than 6,000 MMR, and unable to compete in the ESL Pro 2. So we wanted to give them this opportunity to participate in a tournament to flex their stuff and learn their craft and become stronger StarCraft 2 players. These are the up-and-comers, someday populating the likes of our ESL tours, GSL, sorts of stuff. So when one of these two players is famous, 3-4 years from now, you can say you saw him first at twitch.tv/alphaxsc2. Working our way into this game, both players opening with a rather macro-based approach. Neither player really wanting to get too terribly aggressive out of the get-go. Overlord is going to come in and spot that this is just a pretty standard timing for our Protoss player, going to pump out an Adept. The piece of tech that he is going to go into is a Stargate, so probably going to try and harass a little bit at the beginning of the game. Usually we see an Oracle come out of there, sometimes a Phoenix, so it'll be interesting to see what Exo Striker decides to do in map for 1. Ghosty going out for the 3rd base expansion as well, so once again, embracing all sorts of macro this first game series. It'll be interesting to see how these two opponents play. Both players a little bit younger, so not as much experience, but you know, everybody has the same access to VODs and all sorts of good resources on the internet. So it wouldn't surprise me to see these players pull out stunts, tactics, and tricks, just like our pro scene. It'll be interesting to see. Opening here with a Phoenix first. This is actually a pretty standard Protoss opening as well. Taking a Phoenix into an Oracle. The Phoenix then is able to mitigate the damage of the Queen by lifting it, giving the Oracle free reign in the drone line. But Spore Crawlers coming down here are going to help push that damage back just a little bit. Exo Striker is going to go into more gas behind this well. And Ghosty's going to try and do just a little bit of scouting here, taking a look at all of the open bases. Actually does a really nice job of posting up just outside of the vision of Exo Striker so he can watch those attack paths. Really like that kind of play. Here comes the Phoenix in. Oracle's going to try and get a little bit of work done. Does have one kill, but with a couple of queens sitting in the main, it does eliminate the ability to keep that damage down. So we do have a pause due to lag. Not me this time. So, we're going to go ahead and get this game fired back up here in just a moment. Off we go. We have some great administrators helping out with this. Miguel, what a fantastic guy here working behind the scenes to make all of this go smoothly. So thank you so much to all of his work. As we jump in here to the next game, the Phoenix kind of flying around here. We do have a second Oracle as well for Exo Striker, so this will be continued damage here. Going to be able to dive into the middle line with that Spore Crawler. Is going to push everything back. A couple of drones for his trouble. He's kind of halting the production of the Zerg player just a little bit, while behind it he does start cranking out charge as a response. Zergling does try and dash into the natural. Sees that Exo Striker is going to move towards a third base. So this is pretty standard timing for that third. What isn't standard is that infestation pit that just went down. 5 minutes and 28 seconds. And a Nidus. I bet we're going to see ourselves some Swarm Host play. Really, really like that. Ghosty's going to try and put Exo Striker's micro abilities to the test. Are going to get an Archon drop in the main here shortly. And a whole lot here to defend. And I think that Ghosty's trying to save as much as he can for those Swarm Hosts. Yeah, and he's going to have to make Lings as a response here. Question is, where is the Nidus now? Nidus is all the way down in the natural, so Exo Striker doesn't quite have information on the Nidus network just yet, but it'll be interesting to see if that comes into play here. It's going to turn into a big Ling flood. And there's 9 Swarm Hosts dropping down behind it. Warp Prism does get pushed away. So it is not going to readily scout this Nidus network incoming. A whole lot of opportunity here. Ghosty is going to put that down in the 4th base location, but it's immediately going to get spotted here by Exo Striker. Lings are going to go running across the map here. Exo Striker is going to respond to this. He's going to come with all the queens as well. So this is quite a big engagement here. Does put down a second Nidus network opening to help protect himself. The queens are going to deal a nice amount of damage to the air units. He's going to pick off the Warp Prism. So that does take a lot of reinforcement power away from Exo Striker. This is actually some pretty decent damage here by Ghosty. I don't think he got all of the damage that he was expecting to get, but it definitely was not a bad play by any stretch. Does go for that +2 melee upgrade, as well as more Lings and into a Baneling Nest and Roach Warren as well. He does want to try and get more of those tech pieces up. Exo Striker does scout to the north and see the new location of that Nidus network. Does take his Oracle and it lays down a revelation on the bulk of the Zerg army so he can see where that is headed. And now we're going to see larvae start pouring in here. I think the Lings are going to try and wait for the larvae. The larvae are actually going to get behind everything. That's actually really nice surround and engagement here by Ghosty. I think it's going to be enough, though, with 7 or 8 of those larvae actually being stasis. Meanwhile, a really nice, strong run by of the Zealots in the natural is going to clean up a couple of queens and force most of that army to go back home. Exostriker is going to be able to clean up the creep and push that back for the time being. Ooh, 1 creep tumor does get laid down. So he's going to have to find a way to deal with that in short term. Oracles are going to come to the front of Ghosty's base to see if he can put off more pressure. More High Templar are actually being warped in right now. Those are going to become 3 Archons along with a lot of charge Zealots. And Ghost is going to try and defend on both fronts, but I can't help but worry that he doesn't have a whole lot here. All of the queens are going to go down. Those slow Banelings, 19 of them. Those are going to be really strong against those Zealots, provided they're able to connect. And he does get a really nice connection of Banelings to Zealots. Oh, but those aren't going to be as strong against those Archons. Oh, those are going to be horribly zoned out. And this now becomes a really, really strong give and take. The third base of Exostriker does go down, but I don't know if Ghosty has anything to defend against all of this. His larvae are still on cooldown with the Swarm Host, but he's actually going to keep those Swarm Hosts offensive. 37, 38, 39, 40 some odd drones going down. Ghosty is going to lose just about everything. And I don't know if he can base race Exostriker at this point. Sure, he depowered a gateway and a couple other buildings, but he doesn't really need to build anything more at this point. Ghosty is absolutely limited to what he can do with these Swarm Hosts. I think Exostriker is going to be able to clean this up. Yeah, there's just way too much Protoss. They're down to... does this count as a building? It must. Yeah, that's the last building. Oh no, there's a couple of extractors right there. Yeah, and once these larvae die out, I believe that is going to be the end of Ghosty in this game. Yes, GG is called. Game number 1 going to Exostriker. A very, very interesting game composition for our blue Zerg. I definitely like the idea of it. I just think the execution was a little out of sort. That's okay. I think it definitely showed a good bit of tenacity for our blue Zerg, but props to Exostriker seeing that coming. So this is a GSL style tournament, and in our group B, we are going to have 4 series. We're going to have our first series here between Exostriker and Ghosty. Our second series, immediately following this best of 3, we fire play again, TVT. Then we will jump into the winners match. Have our 2 winners of our first 2 series face off. We'll go into our losers match. And our decider match. Figure out who will join our first player. Moving on into our playoffs next Sunday. I'll actually be casting that as well. Very excited to be a part of content. I'm glad that you are all here. If you check the chat, !match Arena will give you the opportunity to help contribute to this prize pool. Click the link in the chat, AXJC5. I'll let you contribute 50 cents to prize pool, which is pretty cool. In the game. All right. Beautiful. Folks, here we are in Golden Wall, map number 2. Spawning on the left bottom side of Golden Wall. This is our Blue Zerg player, give it up for Ghosty. Playing for Magdeburg Esports. And spawning in the top right. Oh, the bottom right. Excuse me. So used to top right, bottom left. Our yellow Protoss player playing for Alpha X. Give it up for Exo Striker. Hey, so Exo Striker is going to get out here and do a little bit of quick scouting. Nothing too cheesy, spooky. This the gateway behind it. I think on a map like Golden Wall, it's very important to be able to see what your opponent is doing. There's so much of this dead space along the bottom portion of this map. This is just a gigantic pack all out. Huge amount of space. So I think this map rewards Zerg players who want to try and expand early. Maybe take 2 hatcheries before you go and gas pool. Definitely one of the weirder maps that would, especially since you've got the gold right here and here. Both players opting to just keep it very, very, very standard. Mic lag problem? I'm not seeing anything from my end, but entirely possible. The computer had a little bit of a fit right at the very beginning of this cast, so if you would be so kind as to help me watch it, I did just edit my audio setting today. So, as soon as you hear this, if you still feel like you're hearing problems, let me know. Do what I can to get that solved. As we do take a look here on the left side of the map, Ghosty moving into a third base. Go ahead and put that down. There's gonna be another starport, or a Stargate, excuse me, from Exo Striker, which isn't too surprising, especially on a map like this. I think air is very rewarded. Again, you got space, and you have to knock down these minerals to get into everything. Could go through the center. That's not too terribly large of it, but it does require some time in it. It's going to be a Phoenix opener. It wouldn't surprise me if Exo Striker does go into the exact same Phoenix Oracle play that he did before. Going to clean up the Overlord. Hovering over the natural base. Eliminate a little bit of Ghosty's vision here. Ghosty opting to go into the really fast +1 melee attack again. Ghosty seems to really enjoy teching up early. And I'm not sure if that +1 melee is super valuable to be completed at the 5-minute mark. Ghosty might be deciding to try and do a Baneling bust all in. I mean, he is down 1-0, or 0-1. Might want to try and use a timing. Actually, that might be exactly what's happening here, as 16-18 Lings are currently in production, and the Lings that he does have are currently moving across the field. I think Ghosty is going to try and move out for a little bit of aggression, and I mean, he's got an opportunity. There is a Stalker in the wall. This is a full wall off. Exo Striker is able to see that there are Zerglings here, but with the Oracle sitting back at home, that has a lot of potential here to hold this back. Twilight Council does go down. Ooh, very interesting. Does opt. Ooh. See him out. Very interesting. So Zergling try and sit at the backside of the base. Oracles are going to dive in, not really get anything of consequence. +1 is done. Exo Striker sensing a little bit of urgency here. Does drop 6 gateways in response. So he will have some warp-in power to play with. It'll just be a matter of how effective he'll be with what he's coming. Good stasis trap being placed down at the center, but it's entirely possible. Oh, that one Ling. That one Ling could interrupt all of that preparation. Phoenix does see the Zergling posting up there at the side base. Templar Archives is just about done. He is going to be able to have Archons. Archons would be a great response to this type of play. Morling is going to sit there, and Ghosty's going to choose to sit back. I think this might be wasted opportunity. He is going to make a big round of drones, 10 drones in production as he lays down his Roach Warren and steps into Lair. But that +1 was so valuable for him to have earlier on in the game. The mic sounds better now. Excellent. Thank you so much, Tide. I appreciate your help. I made the rookie mistake of trying to alter some of my audio settings earlier this morning on a day that I knew I had to cast. Exo Striker doing a big move out here as he starts to march to the left-hand side of the map. Charge is complete, a couple Archons here, and this is a very strong anti-Zergling army. Only a few Roaches out at the moment. Well, I guess he does have 11, so that's a lot more than I thought. Zealots are going to come pouring on in here. A couple of the Queens do get lifted by Phoenix right away. One force field does kind of divide the army, but it actually doesn't work in Exo Striker's favor too much. Those Oracles are now going to be able to play, and they have plenty of energy, so they're going to be able to zap lots and lots of things. More Zealots come pouring on in here. The Roaches are going to be forced backwards. I'm surprised that there aren't any Immortals in this fight. Actually, there is one sitting all the way in back. He'd be way more useful up front, but a couple of Lings are going to be able to punish him just a little bit. Finally does take out a Roach. That's a lot of drone kills here for Exo Striker. Exactly what he's looking for here. A big round of Lings is going to be a desperation play, but I just don't know if Ghosty's going to have enough to deal with this. Exo Striker back at home, not really macroing up, really focusing on this engage, but you know, he's in great shape. He has a lot of army coming across. Here comes the Warp Prism. Warp Prism is going to be able to allow some big warp-ins. Ghosty does push back a little bit of this army here, but he hasn't quite dealt with what's crawled up into the main yet at this time. Exo Striker now is going to do the big warp-in. This should be the nail in the coffin. GG is called. Exo Striker taking game number 2 and winning our first series 2-0. Thank you, OBS. Oh, beautiful. Love it when a good plan comes together. So, Exo Striker is going to move on to our winners match here in just a little bit. Ghosty is to the match a little bit later than that. So we are going to get set up for our next series here. It's a TVT between Fireplay and Wanna Be Beyond. We have some very unique things to talk about with this being the Junior Championships. Not only do we post our VOD on YouTube and share a lot of information on Twitter, but we do also have Patreon to help support this particular event. If you go and search AX Junior Championships on Patreon, you can find more ways to support this particular event brought to you by Alpha X. We have so many great sponsors. We'll talk about some of those sponsors out this cast as we have more opportunities. But definitely check out that Matcherino link. You've seen it pop up in the chat. ! Matcherino will take you out our Matcherino page to also help support the prize pool player. If you use the code AXJC5, help you 50 cents prize pool. A great opportunity. Please do use up those codes. Matcherino is always working to make sure that we get those codes to you so we can future. So please do take advantage of that. It helps us out in a great way. We're going to go ahead and get it set up for picks and bans. We'll be right back for the second series. Terran versus Terran. Don't go anywhere. My name is Reshi. You're watching the Alpha X Junior Championships Group B. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks. We're going to go ahead and get set up here for our second series of the day. It's going to be a TVT between Fireplay and Wannabe Beyond. They're currently getting their picks and bans taken care of, so we will be into our next series soon. So, wanted to take an opportunity to talk to you about a couple of the other pieces of our junior championship. So we had our first group yesterday, Group A. We had 4 more young players in the scene. Arog Fire, Young Yakov, Baby Marine, and Phenom all played yesterday. The top 2 in that series moved on, and that would be our Protoss player, Arog Fire, and our Zerg player, Young Yakov. They will be playing the winners of today's Group B. Next Sunday will be our small GSL style format where we have a best of 5 semifinals, and our finals will be a best of 7, and that'll be all played next Sunday right here on twitch.tv/AlphaXSC2. These players are playing for the Lions' share of a $50 prize pool, which is not too bad. If you want, you can check everything out on Liquipedia. We've got our whole page set up. I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat if you want to see that. Of course, you're seeing it about 2 minutes early, so you're probably going, wait, what's that link for? Oh, now I know what it's for. Now I know what it's there for. So we are just about set up here. It looks like we are going to head into, looks like Everdream. It's going to be our first map. Everdream, one of the more standard maps in the pool. Not too big of a deal there. So hopefully some of the audio issues have cleared up as well. I'll keep an eye on the chat. I made the rookie choice of adjusting my audio settings in OBS before you know, I had to cast. So it's just a rookie mistake, I guess. So we're going to check all the connections and make sure that we're set and ready to go. But I think we'll be fine. So thanks so much for helping me out with that. Just waiting for those final picks to get finished up. And then we will be ready to go. Might as well take this opportunity then. Let's see if I can find it. See if we can get creative here, folks. Hope you're having a good day. Here we go. Noah, let's take this opportunity. I enjoy chatting to you. Let's go ahead and shout out one of our sponsors of Alpha X in general, in G Fuel. What are you drinking right now? Well, stop. Because if it isn't G Fuel, the drink of esports, it isn't worth drinking. G Fuel ramps up your energy from 0 to 100 real quick. Sharpens your focus so you can keep your eye on the prize. It increases your endurance because, as we all know, gaming is a marathon, not a sprint. And lastly, G Fuel hydrates you so that you only thirst for victory. G Fuel, the official drink of esports. And we want to thank them for sponsoring everything that we do over here at Alpha X and allowing us to have great opportunities like the Alpha X Junior Championship. We're very, very, very grateful for their support as we get ready for our second series here. We got our final picks put together. Our players are loaded. We're almost ready. Thank you so much for watching and participating. We're really glad to have you here. We're getting set. You can hear the beeps. That means we're jumping into game number 1 here. We're headed over to Everdream again. So, totally fine with that. Not a big deal. Oh, I hate looking down at my keyboard because then you guys look at me. What's he looking at? It's all the way down there. Well, when you're 6'8", everything's all the way down there. And just like, huh. Hello, peons. Welcome to my world. And I'm not very good at like finding places on my keyboard. It's kind of silly. But anyways, we are in here to game number 1. We're on Everdream, spawning in the top right-hand corner. Our red Terran player playing for, oh, look at that beautiful face. Juanito himself. Give it up for Fireplay. And spawning in the bottom left, our blue Terran player. Wait, that's not Juanito. No Doritos for you. Give it up for Wannabe Bjorn. All right. So, TVT. We'll have to see if these two players decide to be a little bit more aggressive, maybe a little bit more passive. I bet we're going to see some tanks and some Terran shenanigans ensue. That's kind of the fun of TVT, right? So, I'm interested here. These two players, let's learn a little bit more about them if we can. I've got nothing. Ugh, there we go. Let's see. So Fireplay is our French Terran player. Looks like Wannabe Bjorn is from Belarus. I love it. I think that's awesome. One of the things that I'm probably not as up to speed on is the European scene. So I probably need to keep doing some really good research on the up and coming European players. As some of you may or may not know, I am from North America, from the great Midwestern states. If you're not sure where that's at, if you take a dart and you just throw it at a map of the United States, it's going to stick like right towards the center. It's about where I'm at. Great state of Iowa. Gonna have an epic Reaper battle here. Does get a mine down on Fireplay. Fireplay does have some really good micro in the bank. He doesn't lose his Reaper. to any shenanigans. Ooh, but Fireplay is going to come out right away with his double Reaper and Hellion. It is going to be met by Bjorn. However, Wannabe Bjorn didn't have all of his stuff collected at the same time, so Fireplay is going to be able to get an advantage in the short term. In the long term, Wannabe Bjorn's going to have his second Hellion, and both of his Hellions are at full health. But Fireplay is going to just dive right on in. He's going to kill the worker building the natural. That is going to expose Fireplay. Fireplay is going to lose pretty much all of his stuff. So he does get the one kill on the worker down in the natural, and that's about it. I think that does put him behind just a little bit on the army count, with not a whole lot of gain over on his side of the map. So it'd be interesting to see how things are going. Also, if you can let me know in the chat, I did tweak some of my audio settings just a little bit. I'm hoping that things are continuing to work better. So if you still hear some stuttering in the audio, please let me know. Definitely want to try and cut that out a little bit if I can. Got a couple of things at my disposal here, as Cyclones become the choice of tech here for Fireplay. Wannabe Bjorn's going to move across the map with his tank and small hit squad here. I think Fireplay is going in the right direction with these Cyclones. Cyclones will be able to target down either the tank or the medevac with quick haste here. They are going to get a nice lock on the Hellion here. The Hellion is going to get a hot pickup off of the medevac. A couple more lock-ons, trying to put down some work here. Oh my gosh, I think Fireplay could have been a little bit more aggressive here. I think he is going to be able... No, he doesn't quite get the medevac here, although he could easily lock on. Yep, now the medevac does go down. So Fireplay with a really strong connection here. Liberator is going to have to go across the map and try and get some decent economic damage done, as Fireplay does have a little bit of an army advantage at this point. So here comes the Liberator. Liberator is going to post up on the north side of the main base, and Fireplay doesn't see it. It just now gets the pull. Does only lose one worker, though, so that's not a huge sacrifice. Liberator is going to pull back so it doesn't die just immediately. Liberator is going to try and siege up yet again. Ooh, he's going to be able to pick off those Marines pretty quickly. Those Marines not getting the work done that they need to, and it actually completely stalls out his mining. Fireplay, yeah, for the longest time just chose not to mine on most of those mineral patches, as he does have, looks like he can just get that one without any major issues. Back on his side of the base, Wannabe Bjorn going into a Raven here to help scout and keep track of everything. Fireplay's stim is significantly ahead. So he's going to be able to turn on that bio army a little bit faster than Wannabe Bjorn. And Fireplay is going to choose this opportunity to try and move out. At this point, 1-1 is coming down for Wannabe Bjorn. I don't think, yeah, neither player has any upgrades right now, so that would be a huge advantage for Wannabe Bjorn, who is lacking a little bit in army size. However, if he is able to get those upgrades going, that could be a very strong push for him. But Stimpak's now complete for Fireplay. Fireplay has a little bit of an opportunity here to move across the map, and he does have a pretty sizable army. 4 tanks, a Cyclone, and a really strong number of Marines. About the only thing he's missing is medevacs, and those medevacs are actually just going to finish up here. Probably going to do a big load up and take off across the map, as his third base does get saturated. And actually, both players are kind of in the process of that. Wannabe Bjorn just a little bit behind on the worker count. But it's that army count difference that is a little bit scarier. However, the more time that goes by, these 1-1 upgrades are going to be able to finish and complete. Very, very interesting stuff here, as Fireplay is playing maybe just a little bit too safe. I feel like if you're going to play with fire, you got to play risky. Yeah, no matter. This army is going to be able to finally move out here. I think he's actually waiting for combat shield. Oh, it's actually unfortunate because he's going to be down 1-1 here against his opponent. However, if he can get a good engagement, that might not mean that much. Although they are even on tank count, I believe. Yeah, 5 tanks apiece. Although Wannabe Beyond's going to have a better situation here. He does scan ahead and sees kind of the positioning here. Knows that there is an army sitting on the ramp. Doesn't quite see all the tanks on the backside. And Wannabe Beyond just going to go right into those 2-2 upgrades. Excellent stuff. Interesting. Wannabe Beyond's actually going to be the one to move out here. He takes his whole army here, does scan ahead, doesn't see... Oh, he does see that the army's rallying here, so he's got to have an idea that this is coming. Tanks are going to siege up. Oh, this is actually a really not great positioning for Fireplay. Dorito Dust goes down on both armies, and oh, almost the entirety of Wannabe Beyond's forces do get pushed down. I'm actually really surprised that for what I thought, Fireplay actually had the less advantageous positioning, but was able to capitalize on the situation and make things work out in his favor. He doesn't have a whole lot in this push, though, so he's got to be really careful how far forward he commits. The factory does get canceled. He's going to pull all the workers here. Tanks are going to get sieged. Tanks need to target the right units. They're targeting all SCVs right now, which will be good for the economic advantage, but he is going to lose all of his army, and Fireplay is going to have to take off and retreat here. He is going to want to try and keep those... I mean, not full energy medevacs, but he doesn't want to just toss them away, especially not after killing off 22 workers in the process. So Fireplay pretty much resetting the worker count for Wannabe Beyond back to 2 base. How's Wannabe Beyond going to respond? He really needs to get some economic damage done here in the short term. But right now, it's just going to be a swing around the left-hand side. Couple of scans to try and see where everything is at. Wannabe Beyond moving off to the left-hand side. He only has 1 tank. He could very easily pick this up and fly this right into the main. He's going to scan that the army is down there. Yeah, they're just going to keep scanning each other, try and keep tabs of where everybody is at. Armory is just about done for Fireplay. 2-2 is about to complete for Wannabe Beyond. +1 for vehicle weapons is on the way as well. Make those tanks just a little bit stronger against those Marines. But right now, Fireplay is still down on the upgrade count. The tanks aren't quite sieged yet, but there are definitely more tanks by Fireplay. Oh, this is actually a really nice engagement by Fireplay. Does manage to pick up the entire army. All of those beautiful tanks are still allowed to live. Yeah, and this is going to be a really big push back across the map. He is going to need to unsiege those tanks. He's going to want those tanks as a part of it, but Fireplay is way more concerned about getting those medevacs. Does pick 1 off, is going to be forced to run it back away, but yeah, 1 tank here is going to start the process of Fireplay moving back across the map. 3-3 in production as well for Wannabe Beyond. So he's trying to get the advantage on those upgrades. But if he doesn't have the numbers advantage, Fireplay is going to continue to be at a stronger advantage. 2-2 about halfway done as more Marines start pouring out. And a starport is actually under production as well as Fireplay starts to move towards the 4th base location as well. Wannabe Beyond's actually going to build his on site, so he's just a little bit behind. Take a look at that supply count, 177 to 145, and it continues climbing for Fireplay. Fireplay needs to be careful here. He is going to start seeing now that that the army is up here. Tanks haven't sieged quite yet. That siege is going to be able to go down. The tank count is in Fireplay's favor. And just a very, very strong engagement, I think, gets all of the tanks. This is going to be a drop in the main, but I mean, we're talking about 8-10 Marines tops. So while it is going to be annoying, I don't think it's going to be devastating. These tanks are just going to kind of chill. I'm just going to hang out. Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, and here come the reinforcement Marines. Does pick off one or two of the medevacs as they fly away. Oh, he's going to try. He's going to try. Yep, he's going to be able to pick those off. Oh. Yeah, this is unfortunate for Wannabe Bjorn. I mean, and as a Bjorn fan would notice, very, very strong micro here. Enhanced ballistics coming down for Fireplay as he is going to start moving into Liberators to help deal with that tank count. But Fireplay is completely maxed out. He is going to take this army and just move across the map. Wannabe Bjorn is just a short sneeze away from being exited from game number 1. Ooh, this is a pretty dangerous incline that he's fighting up, but Fireplay just has so much in his army, he's able to just push right up the ramp. GG is called. And Fireplay taking game number 1 with very convincing fashion. Very well done by our Red Terran player, playing for Team Exode. So we are getting into game number 2 here on Nightshade LE. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. I hope you are having a great day. Happy Sunday. Hope you're all staying safe with COVID-19. Know that that's still kind of gripping the world right now. Hope you are happy, healthy, and safe. As we get set for map number 2 in this best of 3 series between these two players, we're jumping into Nightshade. Nightshade, a similar looking map to Everdream. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna listen to like 10 seconds of the audio here. I just want to see what I sound like. Does pick off one or two of the medevacs as they fly away. Oh, that sounds so much better. Oh, that sounds so much better, chat. I'm not saying like I sound great, but I definitely don't clip in and out anymore. And that makes me a happy, happy camper. So we are going to jump into map number 2 here as we get set up on Nightshade LE, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. Playing for Team Exode. Give it up for Fireplay. And spawning in the top left, our purple Terran. Look at that. Playing for Team Platoon. Give it up for Wannabe Bjorn. Oh, look at that name. Platoon. I wish I was half as smart as some of the people in the StarCraft 2 scene are. Like, let's be real. These people get creative. Okay, so if you were wondering, I was having audio issues earlier, I just set up Reaper to help balance out my audio because I have a really nice setup here at home. I've got a nice audio interface with a AT2020 condenser mic. I'm really proud of my setup, and then one of my friends informed me, like, hey, you should be using a digital audio workstation to enhance your audio. And I went, teach me more. So, looked at Reaper. Reaper seems to be a great program that has lots of capabilities for me. And I think I had the noise gate too far up. So at like the beginning of my sentences, when my voice is just like a shred softer than like full voice mid-sentence, it was like cutting it off. So I don't know. Just interesting. So I'm still getting used to that. Hopefully it's not clipping. Again, if it does, just let me know in the chat. I won't go out of my way to try and call you out unless you're like desperate for me. Like, Rashi, let me know. Say my name. It's okay if you're one of those people. I've been one of those people too. I still am. What am I talking about? We all like a little bit of attention, and we all could use a little bit more of it these days. Speaking of attention, this micro battle here is coming in. Wannabe Bjorn is he's just gonna peace out. Fireplay. He just wanted a friend. That's all he wanted. Well, he got some friends. He got his second Reaper buddy, along with his Hellion here. And now we're going to set up the most epic play date here. Or just kidding. Pranked. Oh, really, really advantageous lineup for Fireplay. Ooh, one Reaper does go down, though. But both of those Reapers are within just a shot of being dead. So, doesn't need to be careful here. The second Hellion does show up for Fireplay, and Wannabe Beyond does come out ahead once again. All right, so both players kind of settling in here to their normal style game. These Reapers are going to try and guard the front and make sure that they take care of business should more shenanigans show up. We're going to have a Viking here out of a rather quick starport. Going to have a little bit of air superiority at the beginning of game number 2 here. Fireplay is probably going to be looking for that Raven that's just now coming out for Wannabe Beyond. As we start moving our way up, Wannabe Beyond is taking up just a little bit more on the army supply side here, although both players are sitting about the same worker count. Fireplace, he's banking a whole lot of resources here. Ooh, does land that Viking. How sick does that Viking look? It's like the Terminator. I'll be back. That Viking can be really strong against Mechanical. Actually does kill off both of those Reapers. So Cyclone is going to have to rush away. Raven is coming out for Fireplay as well. Ooh, oh, okay. Couple more barracks going down for Fireplay as he starts making his transition towards some strong bio, which seems good. Seems very good. All right, tank coming out as well. We are starting to see a move into just one engineering base. So he's going to get +1 attack. Interesting change from map number 1 where he had both and was going for 1-1 at the same time. Going to opt not into getting that bio armor at this point, but both players moving into stim pack as well. And they're both just kind of playing safe back at home. Ooh, Fireplay is actually going to be the one that moves into 1-1 early on yet again. Yeah, both players currently working on securing themselves. Doesn't look like Wannabe Beyond has a third base yet at this point. So that is going to be where Fireplay has a little bit of an advantage. Has that third command center already sitting up in the main base. He's going to be able to fly that out. Is he going to fly that all the way out to the front? Interesting. Opting not to go here. I suppose he's trying to mitigate the opportunity of doing a doom drop here and being able to lay siege to the main and the third base at the same time. Doesn't have a whole lot of space to work with over here at the natural. So Fireplay trying to think 2 steps ahead here as this main army does come out here. This does look like a scary army, and Wannabe Beyond has an opportunity here. 57 to 45 army supply. I think he's got an opportunity. He's going to scan ahead and see the army, but he should notice that there isn't as much there. He doesn't quite know about the third base at this point. I think if he knew about that third base, he'd be able to act on it. Oh, and actually, oh, this is actually devious. Wannabe Beyond's going to scan forward and see that there's no third base at this location. Okay, now finally does get the scan down, is going to see that there are, in fact, workers at that base. There's going to be a big engagement here. Tanks do get sieged up on Fireplay, and Fireplay loses everything. GG. What? What just happened? Oh, I almost missed it. I missed most of it anyways. Oh, all right. Well, Wannabe Beyond jumping on an opportunity to stay in the series, and we go to our third game. The winner will move on to play Exo, Exo Striker. There we go. I got mind flooded for a moment. Ooh, we almost missed that, chat. How upset would you be with me? This caster doesn't even know how to cast StarCraft. He's busy looking at workers. They keep telling me in my playing that the workers are the most important thing in the game. So I don't know, just can't help but stare at the beauty of the SCV. It's like peak physical form. I don't know, I just can't help myself. We are going to go into Eternal Empire for game number 3. What's wrong with me? We're getting that quarantine vibe going on, folks. I hope you are all doing happy and well. If you're going a little crazy at home, don't worry, I'm right there with you. We're entering week 6 here in the United States. We're a little behind the rest of the world. That's okay. Thanks so much for hanging out, guys. Oh. Oh, I'm just watching the playback here on my second screen. And it's just now getting to the point, and here's going to be the moment where my camera pans over. It's like, oh, look at those workers. Oh, gosh, they're so beautiful. Meanwhile, the whole army's pulling down. Oh, too funny. Well, we're going to see if I can keep a better track of everybody in game number 3 here as we head into Eternal Empire. Our load time's a little slow. That's okay. We got all sorts of time. All right. The rubber match of this series. Winner moves on to play Exo Striker. Will it be this player spawning in the top right-hand corner? Our red Terran player playing for Team Exode. Give it up for Fireplay. And spawning in the bottom left, our blue Terran playing for Team Platoon. Give it up for Wannabe Beyond. I want to make that rhyme so much. Wannabe Beyond for Team Platoon. But I know better. I'm not allowed to butcher Beyond's name. Oh. I'm also looking forward to, I'm getting some stream gear coming up here this week. I'm going to get myself one of those really nice key lights from Elgato. I'm going to get myself a better camera light. I'm still working on like my setup. So I recently moved my setup from upstairs to downstairs. And I lost a little bit of my camera advantage. So I feel like I'm just chopped off at the neck. We're going to try and get that fixed. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I hope you all love it. But we're still a few days out from that. So the more that we can watch StarCraft, the better. We are getting set up here in game number 3. Both players have a lot to fight for here, as they both want to move on to next week's event. Right here on twitch.tv/alphaxsc2. I think I'm going to be casting that as well. So if you are a fan of the Rushy cast, good news for you. If you're not, I have bad news. But that bad news is that you're slightly incorrect. But I still like you. Reaper, looking for some friends. 2 Reapers actually coming out here for Wannabe Beyond. It's gonna reactor him. Very interesting. Daunted understands my struggle. So glad that he's here in chat today, watching this game unfold with us. This Reaper is going to dive on in. He is going to push away the SCV. He's actually going to kill that SCV as well, right before those 2 Reapers spawn. Very, very interesting timing here. But that's actually all that Fireplay has. He only has the one Reaper, right? Yeah, that's all he's got. Very interesting. So Wannabe Beyond's going to be able to move across the map and try and put down a little bit of pressure. So very, very interesting. So 2 Hellions versus 2 Reapers. And actually, it's going to appear that the 2 Reapers are the superior option here. We're going to get the Reinforcement Hellion pushing across for Wannabe Beyond here in just a moment. But I think Fireplay is going to be just fine as he's currently reactoring out those Hellions. We're up to 4 Reapers. It's actually it feels a little scary here. Does force a pull on the SCVs though, and the Reapers are now all still alive and they are able to deal damage freely. 2 more Hellions are going to be able to pop out here. Ooh, does get a nice little lineup for the Hellion, but continuing to deal more and more damage. 2 workers gone down, 3 so far, and right behind this he is going into a tech lab on his starport. That Reaper is going to be able to get 3 worker kills and disrupts a little bit of mining time. So that does kind of create a little bit of urgency for Fireplay. He's going to feel like he needs to get across the map and deal a little bit of damage, even though he is actually ahead in worker count right now. A little behind in army though, so but not too far behind, and we're going to see what this Liberator can get done as it does head towards the main base of Wannabe Beyond. And Wannabe Beyond's forces are all towards the front except for the Cyclone. That is ready and waiting. So that Liberator is going to get absolutely nothing done. Stimpak's going to get started up for Fireplay. Fireplay falling behind a little bit now and starting to feel the effects of that early pressure. Wannabe Beyond. Oh, did you see that? That sick. Do it again. Can you do that flip again? Do a barrel roll. I said, is it do a barrel roll? Ugh, disappointment. Stimpak is on the way as well for Wannabe Beyond, and we are going to just see ourselves move into yet another scenario that we've seen in the last couple of games. Fireplay getting out to his 3rd base as well, and that's where Wannabe Beyond actually kind of plays back just a little bit, gets a little bit more army supply, tries to be a little bit more aggressive with his timings. And I think that is a difference between these 2 players. In game number 1, Fireplay actually took that to his advantage. But we saw in game number 2 that Wannabe Beyond actually had a really strong timing attack, and we're starting to see that unfold a little bit here. So I think what Fireplay is currently posturing to try and make that 3rd base available. He's going to try and fly that out. Cyclone doesn't quite see anything just yet, not with that tower vision. Scan goes down for Fireplay, and he sees the army that is pooling here. But I think the important scan is that he needs to take a look right here at this 3rd base and see what's coming down. Wannabe Beyond sees the 3rd base go out. I wonder what's going to be his response. I think he's just going to continue banking up here. He's got 15 army supply difference here. Yep, and now he's going to move out. I think that's the right call. And what's Fireplay got? He doesn't have a whole lot. I think +1 is going to time out just perfectly with this attack. But he's down on tank count. He's down on all sorts of... He's just down on all sorts of stuff. Wannabe Beyond. Oh, this is going to get dangerous here. If Wannabe Beyond's able to wedge up in this little spot, he's going to cut off the reinforcements. He's going to be able to get stuff done. But Fireplay trying to play as safe as possible. Here comes the tank siege. Tank siege is going to be a little bit lower than he probably wants, but he's going to be able to engage on all of these Marines. Oh, he kills every single Marine. Oh, GG. Oh. 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 Well. Very, very good engagement by Wannabe Byun. Moves himself into the reverse sweep, essentially. Wins 2-1 in this series, and he moves on to face Exo Striker. Now, if you are a Fireplay fan, fret not. He has at least one more game to play in this series. He'll be going on to face Ghosty in our losers match. We're going to do winners match first. So as we get that set up, we are going to take a short break here. I'm going to grab some water, make sure that I'm fueled and ready to go. Hopefully you get a chance to fuel yourself up. Invite some friends. Let everybody know what you're checking out here. My name is Rushy. You're watching the Alpha X Junior Championships. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back right after this. All right, welcome back, folks. Welcome back to our winners match that we are getting set up for here between Wannabe Byun and Exo Striker. We're going to get that going here in just a little bit of time. What we do want to talk about here, it's an opportunity to shout out one of our sponsors for Alpha X in F-Bomb. It's time for us to shout them out. They are a line of low-carb, high-fat foods to help you live a healthier life. And who doesn't want to do that in the midst of our current quarantine? They research, test, taste, and source the highest quality ingredients and put them into custom-made packages. Thanks to F-Bomb products and their unique packaging, finding tasty, high-quality fat options at home or on the go is no longer a challenge. Whether you're at work, on a hike, traveling the world, or sitting at home playing some StarCraft 2, you will want to be sporting F-Bombs, and we're really grateful for their support of Alpha X and everything that we do here, and thank you for supporting the StarCraft 2 esports scene as well. Another group that does an amazing job supporting esports is Matcherino. please check out the chat, !Match Arena. If someone could type that out for me, click that link. We have a bunch of codes that we want to use to help support the funding of this event, the Alpha X Junior Championships. If you use the code AXJC5, you can add 50 cents for free to the prize pool. Now that's important. I know everybody knows Matcherino. Matcherino is like, they're just the people. They're the awesome people. But it's so important for us to use these free codes because I want you to think about this. Every time we host another event, Matcherino always takes a look at our last event and wants to see all those codes used up so that way we can get more codes in the future. So we can continue funding esports, so we can make more events, so we can get more codes, so we can keep funding. You can see how it just like runs around in a circle, right? So really, really important. Check that link. Use those codes. I'm excited to see at the end of the stream how many more of those codes that we have to use. But please take the opportunity to get those used. Thank you so much for considering that. We are going to be going to Simulacrum for game number 1 in this winners match series. I got my water. I hope you all have hydration as well. Because I don't know about you. Oh, sorry, I had something in my eye. I don't know about you. But as I get talking, throat gets dry, I get excited, and I start breathing through my mouth more. I'm a musician. I'm a brass player. So, like, I'm a mouth breather. It just gets bad. Breathing through your nose? What? So weird. What do you even do? You used to be like up here sniffing my microphone. It's weird. Oh, doesn't smell very good. Now it doesn't really have a scent. I'm just killing dead airspace at this point. How you doing, chat? I hope you guys are doing well. If you have a specific player that you're cheering for, let me know. I want to hear who it is in the chat. One of the things that I've noticed as I watch some of my videos back is I don't talk as much. I have a lot of dead airspace every so often. So I'm trying to find better ways to kill dead airspace without just talking complete nonsense, because that can be really, really silly too. I think some of my favorite streamers are like the best at banter. So I need to learn a little bit of banter material. Talked about my audio settings a little bit. And some of you probably sit there and go, but that's boring. What are we talking about? See, and there's that dead airspace. There it is. It's okay. Quick shout out to Sector 6 here. We're gonna show you that awesome jersey that I'm wearing. Want to be beyond needs a second. Oh, killing for more time. If you like to check out VODs and see games that played back live via YouTube, if you check over to our YouTube, Alpha X SC2, you can find all sorts of VODs, not only at this event, but other events hosted by Alpha X. We've got a lot of great things. We try and do our best to pull in all sorts of content for you, whether it be beginners, community events, professionals, up and coming professionals, you name it. Alpha X has got it. So feel free to check them out. You can also check out our Patreon, AX Junior Championships, if you want to go even further to support this awesome event brought to you by Alpha X. So we're just sitting here waiting for a brief amount of time. Trying to figure out, oh, looks like we just have a second to kill. Boo-doo, boo-doo. All right. Lots of dead airspace. All right, chat. Let's play a game. Let's see who you're rooting for to win today's Group B. Right now, we have Exo Striker versus Wannabe Beyond. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite to win? Oh, we can hear the beeps. The beeps will save us. Beeps will save us once more, chat, as we get into game number 1 here. We're going to Simulacrum. Until today, I don't think I could pronounce that correctly. I was like simulacrum, simulacrum, simulacrum. Easy peasy, boys. You like the tartan pattern in the background? I like it too. It doesn't quite go with my blue background overlay. It was as close as I could get, though. But here we go. We're going into game number 1. You don't have to look at my face anymore. Woohoo! Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Simulacrum, our yellow Protoss player. Playing for Team Alpha X. Give it up for Exo Striker. And spawning. The bottom right. Playing for Team Platoon, our purple Terran. Give it up for Wannabe Beyond. Thank you so much for being patient and waiting on us as we get ourselves into game number 1 here. I don't know if I was expecting to see cheese or see anything super aggressive, but kind of hoping for a little bit of shenanigans, at least at some point today. So it's going to be another best of 3 between these two players. The winner will move on to our playoffs next Sunday, and we'll have guaranteed money. Guaranteed. Love that. Dead airspace is good for doing drops or carries. You're absolutely right. As a Zerg player, dead airspace just scares me. Probe's going to come in here and do a little bit of harassment and try and scout around. Nothing that is too terribly scary at this point. Is just going to do a little bit of shenanigans here, delaying the second base. Meanwhile, his Nexus is already down. But Wannabe Beyond is going to be able to get that natural down as well, so that's not too big of a deal. Wannabe Beyond has won Daunted's heart. I love it. I love it. Sounds like Wannabe Beyond's on the next episode of StarCraft Bachelor. He has 1 rose. Daunted. Has to give it out. With my last rose, I give it to Wannabe Beyond. And Exo Striker's just like crying over in the corner. I thought it was true love. You said you loved me in the Reaper suite. I don't know where I was going with that one. It was going to get weird if I went too much further. Punker's going to go down at the front here for Wannabe Beyond. Wants to make sure that he can protect against the incoming Adept. Reaper's actually going to take some damage here. Has a potential to die. Is he going to get close enough? No, he is not. Very well placed mine. It's going to bounce that off. Robotics facility on the way for Exo Striker, who's going to just make an observer. That's fine. Prevents against Banshees. Allows him to get across the map to do a little bit of scouting. He's going to go right into a robotics bay, though. Wouldn't be surprised to see Colossus come down. I see completely has shared a question in the chat. I am just a caster. You'll want to make sure to contact one of our admin regarding that question. So, feel free to chat with them. Sorry, I'm not purposely trying to ignore you. I just don't have a good answer for you. As we move further into this game, our Viking is getting set up along with Cyclone here. So the Azure is going to be able to come in here and spot. Check out all sorts of good scouting information here. He does get a chance to see the barracks that are coming down here. So 2 more barracks going to be joining the fray. Large amount of bio, as Wannabe Beyond is going to... Oh, one scan. One scan. There it is. He had a chance to hear that. Warp Prism going to come along with Disruptor. Can you say it with me, chat? Balls. Balls. Production of Exo Striker is just completely just nothing right now. It's going to focus entirely on this drop. One's going to get in. Does get 3. Does get 3 workers. He's going to have to recall that back out because the Viking is going to push away the Warp Prism. It doesn't want to risk losing that. So 3 worker kills. Gets everything back out. Debatable. Third base is coming down here as we do end up getting into Colossi. And Extended Thermal Lance coming down. Although it is possible that Wannabe Beyond could get moving here with a good amount of Marines. Could just overwhelm the giant mammoth giraffe that is moving all the way here. So it's a relatively, just a relatively quiet game here so far. Warp Prism is trying to get as much damage done as possible, trying to be annoying and bump in and out. As the Twilight Council is wrapping up for Exo Striker, it's going to allow him to get charge on the way, ++1 for those charge lots. And Wannabe Beyond is not taking a third, and I think that that is a mistake here, as Exo Striker's third is mostly saturated. It's about 2/3 of the way there. No gas just yet, but I don't think he needs to put down that gas just right yet. He's going to decide to move out. And this is where Beyond was really strong in his series against Fire. Fire someone. Oh, no. Is it Fire Lord? Oh, no. I'm embarrassed. I've forgotten his name. I have to learn it by the next series. But this is where Wannabe Beyond shined in his previous series. He was able to hit these really strong timing attacks. He is just going to load everything up into Medivacs and do a drop in the main base. Ooh, if that Warp Prism goes down, that is great damage for Wannabe Beyond. But he is going to force Exo Striker into attacking at a couple of different spots, and he's supply blocked. Exo Striker cannot warp anything in. This is your time to go, Wannabe Beyond. Wannabe Beyond is going to stim in, and he is going to find the tech. Oh, and that pylon is going to shut that down entirely. This is going to be very devastating damage here. Does kill off the robotics facility, and he's going to get the cyber core as well. Oh my gosh, this is crazy damage. There's going to be one ball that comes swooping on in here, but that's just not going to be enough. This is going to be so much damage dealt. Only now does Exo Striker have those pylons in place. He's able to warp in extra, but at what cost? Oh, that's so much damage. Oh. So Exo Striker doesn't lose anything economically. He is still ahead by quite a bit. But Wannabe Beyond taking out a couple of those very important tech structures. That cyber core is so important. He's not able to even build other replacement tech buildings until that one gets done. So that is going to allow Wannabe Beyond to get his third base down and set into place. He's going to be able to saturate that all the way. going to be a warp prism here coming on the lower left-hand side. Oh, that mine is going to be able to make contact, and oh, that is just unfortunate. Exo Striker is playing a little greedy here, going into that 4th base as well. And I think this little hit squad is going to be able to shut that down. He's going to get a warp in. Oh, but that is a kill. That is a kill, not a cancel. Raven's going to be really annoying and take out another pylon here. And Wannabe Beyond is now starting to deal the damage that he needs to keep Exo Striker from advancing further in this game. Fully saturated on his 3rd. He is going to force Exo Striker into a big push, though, and that's a lot of charge lots. I think if Exo Striker wants to, I think he's got the opportunity. Tanks, there are no tanks. There are no tanks. There is no... Oh my gosh, okay, this is actually really crazy. Exo Striker's got a great opportunity here. He's going to try and deal as much damage as he possibly can. Bio is going to get good connections here. The Vikings, oh, the Vikings are able to take out the Colossus of Exo Striker. Okay, so this is actually a really great engagement for Wannabe Beyond. It didn't matter that he didn't have tanks. Wannabe Beyond's like, tanks? Tanks are for losers. Why would I have tanks? He's going to get upgraded EMP. And that's going to be great against these large bio ball armies. Fire play. Fire play. Oh, Tide. Tide, you're my hero. Helping me with audio. Helping me with names. What's next? Helping me with, like, lottery numbers. Oh, if you got 5 good lottery numbers, you let me know. I will buy them. I will even split the winnings with you. It's a Sunday, so there's no lottery today, but soon. Colossus is going to come in from the north here, and ooh, that's actually a really nice choke on the ramp, but those Vikings are still going to be able to deal the damage that they need to do, but Wannabe Beyond, he's throwing away so much. That Colossus is going to live. How many? It's got 2 hit points. 2. 4th base going down for Wannabe Beyond. It's going to get the gases sieged up here. And yeah, it's just going to be a nice little rally across the map. We don't need no stinking tanks. What are tanks for? More Vikings on the way. Yeah, we will absolutely hear more about these players. These players are showing like amazing prowess. I'm 30. I'm 30 years old, chat. I'm an old man. These players make me look foolish. Big stim in to this 4th base location. That's a lot of Marauders. The mines are going to try and bait everything in. And the mines are going to get some connections, but really not a whole lot here. Going to get all cleaned up, and that actually went okay for Exo Striker. He did lose 4 workers, but I think that's an okay trade at this point. Dark Shrine's going to get a little spooky for Wannabe Beyond, but I think he's got plenty of scans. Oh, he's been pretty good on his macro. Oh, he's got a couple of scans in the main. So that won't be too bad to deal with. He's going to get a planetary fortress up at that 4th base if the 4th base becomes fully saturated. And now both players trying to posture and get themselves going again. Wannabe Beyond's in a really nice position. Up a little bit on workers, but definitely on that army count as well. Exo Striker's trying to get some warp-ins here, going into more of those disruptors as he sees Wannabe Beyond moving more and more into this bio-based army. I think, yeah, he wants to stay away from... He wants to stay away from those Colossi as the Vikings are just making quick work of all of those. One disruptor shot does go out, doesn't quite connect. He is going to have to back off while those Vikings are in play. Not enough disruptors out on the field just yet to deal with the bio forces. A couple of good shots keep going out, though. He is getting blink for those DTs. Kind of like that. That's really exciting. One more disruptor shot does come out here. A couple of ghosts getting some really nice snipes off as well. Oh, big stim forward while everything's choked up on the ramp. 20 workers went down. Oh, what a run by here. I need to watch that mini-map a little bit closer. It's going to pull Wannabe Beyond all the way back. This was a huge warp prism. He's actually going to be able to warp in DTs. So those DTs are going to be able to blink around here in just a little bit. It's going to force out some scans. He's got one scan for sure. There it goes. That's all the scans he has right now. Does he have any Ravens? There are no Ravens, so this is the last scan for right now. Okay, so he is able to get all of that cleaned up. And that's going to force Exo Striker to move out to the front here. That was great damage. I think that was almost... Like, that was incredible. Oh, I'm struggling with my hotkeys here as Exo Striker does come forward. Doesn't manage to pick off the 4th base location. Looking for my income graph. Yeah, absolutely. There we go. What a shift in income. Trying to get my hands on the keyboard in the right spot. 4th base is going to try and fly back over again. Exo Striker's going to run in with more of these DTs. These DTs are just going to be able to free farm. Another big warp in of DTs and Zealots as well. Exo Striker is putting the hurt on. Wannabe Beyond doesn't quite know where to go. He's got so many things that he needs to try and clear up, but he just doesn't have the resources. So Exo Striker's going to sit out front with the big bulk of his army and try and prevent everything from going down. 16 more workers going down. Wannabe Beyond just getting pulled apart at the seams. And now the Disruptors are going to come into play. Ooh, a couple of good splits there, but lots and lots of Bioforces being picked away at. Unfortunate for Wannabe Beyond. Big blink forward is going to put that down. GG is called, and Exo Striker takes it. Game number 1. Does a really nice job of pulling Wannabe Beyond apart at the seams. So, well played by our yellow Protoss. You kind of did the Terran thing where you drop in a couple of different locations, you create all of that chaos around the map, and does a really nice job of making him divide his army up. At the moment that Beyond has to split his army, I mean, Exo Striker's able to just push right up the center and just kind of bulldoze him over. So, very, very well done. Very well played by Exo Striker. We're going to see if he is able to finish this up. If he wins this next game, he will walk out of this group the 4-0 winner. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. If Wannabe Beyond doesn't win this next game, he will not be done. He will move it down to the lower bracket, where he will play the winner of our loser series in Ghosty and Firetrap. Fireplay. I'm going to remember it at some point. I can't promise now. I will promise eventually, though, chat. Just you wait. You wait and see. We are into game number 2 here on Everdream. Spawning in the top right-hand corner. Our yellow Protoss player playing for Team Alpha X. Give it up in the chat for Exo Striker. And spawning into the bottom left. Our blue Terran player playing for Platoon. Give it up for Wannabe Beyond. Watching these younglings fight for the future. Oh my gosh, look at all these old people in the chat with me. Oh, I feel so good. Now, here's the question, because I know that I am not going to be in the same ranks here, but when did you first get into StarCraft 2? Because the answer for me was at 21. So I've not been with StarCraft forever. I think I bounced in right at the beginning of Heart of the Swarm. I know there's going to be some of you like, the moment I came out of the womb, I was introduced to my first 4 pool in Brood War. That was not me, I'm afraid. But Still feel like I've really enjoyed the game ever since Heart of the Swarm. This probe's going to do a little bit of harassment. Pig has a really great term for this particular probe. I don't think I can say it on this stream. But hopefully you know. You know what I'm talking about. His first name's Captain. I'll let you fill in the rest of the blanks there. A second barracks going down in the main of Wannabe Beyond. Getting a little spicy up in here. Pyun always does a little bit better fighting from behind. That's fair. I respect that. There's definitely a lot of people that play that way, that they perform better under pressure. This probe, not the case. This probe, unfortunately, died under pressure. All right. So, we are going to see this Reaper come up here and try and engage the Adept. That Adept was like, no, I'm not getting tossed around. Not today. Target's going to come down. We are getting extra spicy up in here. We're going to see 3 racks and an engineering bay go down for Wannabe Beyond. I'll be curious to see if we get another reactor here. Reactor. And reactor. Reactor, I barely know her. No. Marine. That'll be fine. But the Marines are coming down. Oh, Reaper's actually going to get a little bit of damage here. Oh, he picks off the worker. Oh, there's nowhere for him to run. That was a dead end, unfortunately. So Exo Striker actually takes a step out in front here. Has a little bit of army advantage. It does have a worker advantage for sure. But I think we're going to see a really strong stim timing here, as +1 and stim are already on the way. That's another tech lab. Rushy. Ugh, I wanted that to be a reactor. Caster curse is real. More gateways as a response to that. I don't think Exo Striker exactly knows what's on the way. Not just yet. But this Oracle is going to get in and see 3 barracks. And now I think he's more aware of what's actually happening here. So that throws down the shield battery down at the natural base. Does pick up a robo facility. It was the end of Wings. Marine King was your first hero. I love it. I love it, Daunted. Forge going down as well. Hopefully there'll be a cannon in production. Exo Striker is actually going to go out with this, excuse me, hotkeys. Thank you. He's going to go out with this Phoenix Oracle combo. He is going to